The only problem with Santino and Andy is this podcast. Well, hello and welcome back to your favorite movie podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Andrew Matsky, and I'm joined as always by my fellow host, my co-host, my other host, Santino Vitale.
How many other hosts do you have?
Well, you're one. It's like I didn't want to just call you my co-host. That makes you
Mm.
sound beneath me, but we're equals in this endeavor. Um, I genuinely kind of forget we do this show to the point that we release it publicly.
Mhm.
I was talking about with somebody I was talking about this with somebody today that like I've had more than one occasion where someone was like, "Oh yeah, the guy you do the podcast with," when I talk about my friend Santino, and I look at them kind of funny and I go, "What are you talking about?" And I go, "Oh yeah, like that thing we do, we release it to the world." That's right. And I've like told the world that we do this. So that's a funny realization that happens every once in a while. And we're back. We're back this week. Right off the rip, I want to say we are moving to a summer release schedule. There's been
Possibly
budget cuts.
controversial.
Yeah.
I
Do
mean,
you want to tell them about that, Santino?
yeah, so,
I actually don't understand how we want to do this. So go for it.
we met with the board
Yeah.
and a lot of people, it was a spirited debate. Um, Long story short, there's some budget cuts. Andy and I are busy men about town, and we can't be, getting we can't spread ourselves too thin, is what was decided. And
Yes.
we decided like it's better to paraphrase Parks and Rec, it's better to whole butt one thing instead of half butt multiple things. And then you stretch your butt across a lot of different chairs. And then that everybody else
Yes.
just looks at you and they're like, well, that's gross. Like, I don't know why you're doing that. Just
Why are you trying
stop,
to how
you
are you
know?
even doing that? Is the question
Yeah,
I get. How are you spreading
exactly.
yourself across so many chairs? Yeah, the
So,
main cut in the budget that Santino and I are experiencing this season is time.
mhm.
The time has just gone away.
Well,
We were like,
time is money. Money is pizza. Pizza is knowledge, or power is pizza. Pizza is knowledge. Knowledge is
yeah,
power. Something like that.
that's true. And so we've decided to move to every other week. I don't know if we've actually said that. Every other week, twice a month, just through the summer. Um, my expectation would be that by September we're back to normal, if not sooner, if we can manage it. Um, Maybe even to August, just in time for spooky season to kick in. We'll be like back to full swing. We're just busy. Like we didn't intend to like have the release schedule that we did, which was like we were gone in Massachusetts, which we'll bring up in a little bit here. And then we released the episode we had in the can, which like wasn't necessarily the plan, which that rhymed. And then it was because we could have just done that when we were in Massachusetts. And so then we had this episode that we'd like pre-recorded, and then it was like, oh crap, I can't record this week. Like I'm too busy. So that's kind of like what's happened. And then looking ahead at our schedules, all the schmoozing we have to do and rubbing elbows with important people, and
Rubbing
you
knees
get it.
sometimes if they're,
Yeah.
if you're not high enough to
Short.
get to the elbows.
Like I
We've
guess I'd be
had to,
short.
yeah, we've had to lay off Kristen just for
Kristen
until
is
she
no
took it
longer an
really
unpaid
hard.
intern. Yeah, she lost her position as an
Yeah.
unpaid intern.
Which is funny because she's still unpaid. She's just, if anything, it's easier now because she doesn't have to do
Yeah.
stuff. And
We let
that,
her keep her key, but she's
well,
torn up about it.
yeah, it was a scene, man. It was a real scene. And I keep
I
telling
wasn't
her,
I wasn't in the office that day. I was too
oh yeah, you
busy.
weren't. No, so
I was at the mall.
it was like there were tears. I was like, look, like she took it like it was a breakup. And I'm like,
Yep. Yeah.
I think you need to get like
I mean, this has been
some
her whole
air.
life for like the last 3 months.
Yeah, to the point where I think she's been sleeping in the office. And
There
hey,
was that like mound of newspapers and like a kind of like that was like a den of sorts. I was wondering what that
she
was.
would collect a lot of trash from around the office, I noticed. And what's weird is she would do it and she would like hold a lot of straw and things in her mouth too. So because she always had that stack of papers in the clipboard because she was always
Yeah.
like scheduling. So she would literally like put stuff in her mouth. And at first I thought, because some of it was food, I was like, oh, she's
Yeah.
just getting food on the run. It's a bagel, it's a whatever. And then it was trash. And I was like, wait a minute. Where's she going with
Does
this?
she like use that as like a third hand, an
Yeah.
appendage of some kind?
Mhm. Very, very vole-like in her
Yes.
tendencies. And that's not an insult, by the way. Like she's a great kid, but she needs to
Yeah.
really like as an only child and an only child, I think she as an only child needs to just kind of like, you
Yeah.
know,
We only hired only children as
it's
part of
one of the
our
only problems.
yeah, it's one of the only really hard actually these days. There's not a lot of them. But yeah, it's been a bummer, but it's okay. Maybe when we get back into full swing, we get the advertising budget back up, we can hire her back on
Well, I
again.
mean, we never paid her in the first place, so letting
Yeah.
her go was really more of like just to kind of give us space.
Is she still thinking of going to school in the fall?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, man, like it's really hard to say what the plan is. She keeps butt dialing me. I'm starting to think it's on purpose because I just
If
hear her
if
like in
she
the
answers,
background.
hello, I get those too.
Yeah,
Well, I got one of those, and then she started asking me about you. Like,
yeah,
she's like, "Oh, I must have butt dialed you," which I was like, "That's weird. That's not how this normally works." If I'm
right,
like, "Hello," and you go, "Hello," oh, sorry, I must have butt dialed you. Do you know where Santino is right now?
right.
And I said he's at the links,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
so
I gotta get in a nice nine hole here and there every now and then. I know, it's for our health. It's for our health.
yeah, yeah, it adds years to your life. That's what they say.
Mhm.
Um, so we were in Massachusetts in real
Yeah.
life like
For
3 weeks
everybody who's
ago.
like bored with the weird riff we just went on,
Yeah.
here's some reality.
So, do you want to let the folks know? We told them why and what when we were
Mhm.
there in our little video that we released.
Yeah, spooky ghosts. We were in
Those spooky
Spookachusetts.
ghosts. Yeah.
Um, Spookachusetts is beautiful this time of year. I recommend you
Yes.
go to the coast, not inland, because
Like we did. We went to the
yeah,
coast.
and the coast is really nice. Um, yeah, we shot for 5 days. Well, we shot for 3 days. We were in town for a little more than that. It was a 5-day trip.
Hmm.
And we got a bunch of footage. We talked to a bunch of people. And I'm currently in the edit as we speak, like trying to assemble things and put pieces
He's
together.
editing right now as we're recording the
Yeah.
podcast.
If you see my arms doing this, it's
So
editing. If
that's
you
his
see me
editing
like
dance.
looking in weird places, I have screens all over.
Yeah.
It's a very professional setup over here. But yeah,
Yeah, it was a lot of
that's what's up.
it was fun. Friend of the show, local historian, Jack Prochaska joined us.
Which, by the way, not to cut off that thought,
Yeah.
but when you said and have said and just said just now, I know I said that the dumbest way I could have. Let me start over. When
Thank
you
you.
just
Like,
now mentioned local historian Jack Prochaska, as you have many times in the past, I always thought that was an honorary title until I spent significant time at Jack and found out he literally is a historian. And that's pretty darn
yes.
impressive.
Yeah, Jack is a very knowledgeable person. Him and I went to high school together. And what's funny about all this, I don't know if we ever like said this around you, is like him and I in high school would like go on these walks, like all sorts of times of the year. I vividly remember like them being in the winter as well. We'd go on like these hikes and we'd just talk about like the weird historical thing we were into at the time. And so and Jack is very knowledgeable when it comes to like military history and paraphernalia. So like when I refer to him as local historian, I mean that because like literally he's come over and like looked at my grandfather, my mom's dad was in the military and he's
Mhm.
like looked through his stuff and told us what it is. Like so like he is the local historian, and I think that's funny that you, like, came to the realization that, like, "Oh, no, like, Andy isn't saying that as, like, a joke. Jack actually knows his stuff." And, Jack recently, like, went out, towards, like, Warren, PA, and, like, on his way back, like, stopped at historical sites that he, like, saw from his car. Like, that was,
Mm.
like that's why Jack and I are friends is because we can go a place and be like, "What's this historical marker?" And then, like, wander into, like, some weird wormhole in space-time and come out the other end. So,
Yeah. And I mean, truly, his knowledge is impressive. For the folks playing along at home, if you ever want to feel like a moron, like hang around Jack for like 10 minutes and just be waterboarded with facts and go, wow, I didn't know a person could know this much. And also, um, only half joking, but also like you guys found a random, you found you stumbled on it, what, the third day, a
Oh
random
yeah.
historical
So
thing.
this is like a fun story from the trip. This is like one of my highlights from the trip. We stayed in Marblehead, and we were shooting B-roll there our second or third day there. I think it was our second day there. And it must
Whatever
have been
day we were walking around Marblehead in the morning. I don't know what day
it must
that
have been
was.
our second day.
Must have been.
And because Jack and I then went back to this location. Uh and we were kind of filming as a unit, and just for whatever reason, we had already been that long into the trip. I needed some me time, plus like shooting B-roll anywhere that's like a town. I As long as it's not the tourist central that is Salem, um, as long as it's like a town, I kind of like to like be by myself. You're like kind of can get, and this is like me being the our tour I am, you kind of can get more immersed. You can
Mm,
you're less noticed than like three guys walking around town joking around.
yeah.
And so I wander off on my own, and we could see this clock tower from our Airbnb, and I wanted to check out what it was, and we had enough time that I was like, I can go check out what it is. And so I walk up this hill, and it's this place called Abbott Hall, and Abbott Hall is home to, and I've yet to look into the history of Abbott Hall, which kind of is a reflection of doing these shoots. You're literally in this like super interesting place, and the dock is so much a part of your mind
Mhm.
that you don't have enough bandwidth, to use the like PC terminology. You don't have enough bandwidth to like soak in where you are fully. But I saw this sign outside Abbott Hall that said Spirit of 76 this way. And I was like, that's interesting, because the Spirit of 76, if you don't know, is this famous painting based off of like the Revolutionary War, but also the War of 1812 is kind of like the big play of it. And the local history connection is that from the town over from where I live is like where the guy is from. And so like there's all sorts of Spirit of 76 stuff there. But I went, huh, interesting. So I wandered into Abbott Hall, and I ran into a guy who was about my age, and we formed a quick friendship over history. And because we couldn't find this painting, he's like, that's what I'm looking for too. And so we found this, and the actual Spirit of 76 painting is in this hall, in this like in their town hall in Marblehead. And it was like, oh my gosh. And so I met up with you guys and was like, you won't believe what I just found. Because I mean, you and I specifically are not too familiar with actually being in New England. And I felt like that was like a fun introduction to kind of that Boston-y area, is like, oh,
Mhm.
you literally can stumble across. And that's not even necessarily history as that much as like the celebration of remembering the history that happened. And that was just like, that was a lot of fun. And then Jack and I went back either the next day or the day after that.
I think you went back I thought you went back the same night, but every day is such a
We went back
blur.
the day we went to like Lawrence and that,
Okay,
which was our last day. So it must have
right.
been.
All I know, well, because Jack had been to Boston before,
Yes.
and so yeah, all I know is every time I try to place any particular event or any particular moment in that trip, like in time.
We went back the next day.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I can't do it.
Sorry.
Like I can't figure it
I
out.
can't either. I was like, that's definitely like a day or two in between then,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, because it was only 3 days. So it's like it's got to be one of these three. I know it's not the first one. I couldn't even remember what day we ate at the Rockefellers. And it had to be Wednesday because that was the only day we were in town all day because Thursday we drove
yeah.
up to
We came in
Lawrence.
on a Monday. Tuesday was our first interview day. Wednesday was the day I stumbled across everything.
Yeah, so it must have been
Thursday was
Thursday
the day we
morning.
went back and went to like Lawrence.
Hmm.
And then we went home.
And for the folks at home,
You can see some pictures from the trip on my Instagram at
yeah,
I am Matsky, if you really
little
want to.
little self promo to I am
Yeah.
Matsky.
So the Instagram that I post on, only because I do
Almost never.
Instagram for my one job, and
Right.
I repost that.
Hmm.
So
And for the people who came here to hear about Princess and the Frog, calm down. Like calm down. We'll get there. It's not a long movie, So like we're
And
just we're having
I
a
don't
little
feel like
fun.
we have a lot to say about it, but
No,
we're
we don't have a lot to say. We don't not a lot to
yeah, that
say.
was one of the stars of the show. The trip was Jack's Tucker Carlson impression,
Jack's Tucker Carlson was amazing.
which
I
like
there was
that got introduced early in the trip and then
very
like
early.
permeated everything. So
Everything. I mean, there were two things that were true about the trip. We were constantly doing Boston accents to each other, which Jack
yeah,
already kind of says a few things. Doesn't he already do like ka?
yes,
He already kind
he
of
kind
does
of
that.
already does that, and it got worse after the trip. I saw him like a few days after the trip, and it was way more than normal. We saw like
Mhm.
yeah, we came back on. Well, actually, I saw him like a little bit after the trip, and it was bad. So
Yeah.
but
So we were doing that, and then Jack was constantly doing his Tucker Carlson, which was immaculate. The only thing he doesn't have is the laugh yet, but the rest of the impression is
yeah,
great. And there was a moment when we were, whatever day it was, you guys were behind me. It was one of the few times, because generally, like Andy said, we would fan out to cover more
yeah.
ground,
Jack and
to
I
be
would
less
typically stay
conspicuous.
together.
Yeah.
Jack was our key grip, best
Well, Jack
boy.
didn't have another camera, because if he
Yeah.
did, then we all three would have fanned out. But like it
Yeah.
was usually like 2 and 1. And so like we'd separate and try to cover more ground. But this, it must have been the first day, I think, because we were in an area and we were trying to find the one monument, the witch monument. And
Yeah.
we were like all walking in a row on the side of the road, and you guys are behind me. And the whole time, Jack's just doing his Tucker Carlson thing. And I'm just hearing, oh, here's the thing. Look, what could we be? We're looking for this monument. And it was like, I'm cracking up because it was so weird. And on the drive home, and this is, I mean, you can edit this out if you want. I'm not going to get super detailed, but on the drive home, Jack started like telling us a bit about his personal life, but he was doing it as Tucker Carlson and talking about himself in the third person, and it was amazing. Like it was
Yeah.
really funny and really wild that was
Well,
happening.
like, and
this
Jack
is
and I-
surreal.
Jack's Tucker is much better than mine, but we both would get into like the cadence of it,
Mhm.
or like naturally would be talking, but we'd accidentally like have a break in our speech that
Mhm.
would then feed into like another like 5 minutes of just the Tucker. And I mean, one day when the roll is called up yonder, I went to see the transcripts and count the percentage of the trip that was the Tucker Carlson impression, because it was
Feels like it
rather
was
high.
a lot.
I'm gonna
It was
say
very
like
high.
I'm gonna say a small number, I feel like, but like 10%, 15% of the trip. When you realize this is like 5 days we're talking
Mhm.
about, that like
That's a lot.
15%
I was gonna
of
guess
what
like
was said.
20, honestly. But I also wasn't with him as much as you were.
Yeah,
So
Jack and I were inseparable for 5 days and we had a great time.
yeah. And
love traveling
I've
with
I've
Jack.
got evidence of this like all over in the B-roll. There's just I'm going through it and there's random stills or close-ups of Jack or whatever, and it's like Jack's like walking like Bigfoot, and there's just all these random
I
things.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's one time where he's like, quick, give me like Bigfoot. And I was like, oh.
That was when we were in Danvers. It was at the
Yeah.
the other witch monument, of which
That's
there are a
right, that's
million.
when we were at the other
Yeah.
one.
It was
He's
like this.
Bigfoot's here. Oh,
It's, by the way, folks, what the monument we're talking about is like a monument like 2 feet from a soccer
Yeah.
field in the middle of a residential area, that is this big stone monument of like the names of all the people who were unjustly killed and their final
Yes.
words. It's very solemn.
and
And
it's
we're
one
getting
of several of these monuments in
Right.
the area.
and we're getting close-ups of that. And behind me, Andy and Jack are like taking pictures of each other walking around like Bigfoot, unbeknownst to me. And
We're
I was
dialed in.
completely out of it. And then I got home and went through the B-roll, and I was like, well, there it is. This is new. And I
There's-
remember you
There's
running.
Jack and Andy not taking anything serious. Wait, when did I ran there?
Yeah, because we pulled up in
Yeah.
Danvers, partly because we were on a time crunch because the sun was setting and we needed to get back before, because I wanted to get certain footage. But then also because you were afraid of getting ticks, and we all were, because like Massachusetts is really bad for ticks. So we sprayed down, and then we just ran across the
My
grass.
legs were wet with tick spray.
Right.
And I think it was like we're at the point in the shoot, and we won't get too into detail, but we were just exhausted. We went
Yeah.
through the whole detail before we started recording. We're like an hour late recording because we
We had our little
had to-
therapy session beforehand.
Yeah. And I remember that was the point of the shoot where I was also like, I just want to like make people like bring some levity is what I want to do. So I did like, it's this soccer field parking lot, literally like public park. And then it's
There were
probably, like,
kids playing a game
yeah,
while
like
we were
80
there.
feet of grass. And I sprinted to get, because you're like, I think you mildly seriously, and this is where, like, let me bring some levity by making fun of Santino might not have been the best idea, but it was like, you're like, we got to move on. I was like, okay. And I have these like cargo pants filled with stuff, and I'm like booking it. to, like,
Understand,
get,
like,
we
to
had
the
had the, yeah,
to the people to the people who are on the soccer field, if they looked to the west of them as we pulled in, all you see is our SUV like screeches into the parking lot like 60 miles an hour.
I think
We
because
all
I,
run
because it had
out.
been a running gag that you, Santino, would drive fast when you shouldn't. And
in
so,
residential areas, in parking lots.
and so, like, I think I was probably
Downtown.
doing that, like, oh, we gotta move.
Mhm. Oh yeah, because you
we
were
peel
driving.
in. Yeah,
Right.
we peel in.
All jump out of the car. Immediately, there's a haze of bug spray. Cameras just shoot out from our abdomen, and we book it across this grass. We get around this monument. We're all over it like ants on a log. You guys are doing Bigfoot behind me. Everybody's taking pictures. I think there's like random yelling. And then I'm like, go, 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 because we're there for like 5 minutes. We get like,
Yeah.
literally, we got a ton of footage, by the way. We're only there for maybe 5-7 minutes. We got about 80 clips or more of this
We
monument.
were like, go, go, go. Like,
And then
we
we
were
just
like,
got back
we
in
were
the
like
car.
well coordinated in the moment too, where it'd be like you were over here and I was over here, and then like you'd move and I'd move.
We
'cause we had different,
rarely
like,
got
focal
in each
lengths.
other's light. Like, we
Yeah.
were pretty good about staying
Yeah,
out of the way.
I was like really keeping an eye on that, and
Mhm.
like it was golden hour almost, so we
Almost.
really were like moving, and it was like, we have
Mhm.
good light now, but we need this for other places, and we're like half an hour away from where we need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, maybe a little. Yeah, we were about a half hour away, because I remember we're driving. We got back in the car. The Little League kids must have been like, the heck was that? Like, they see tourists
Yeah.
all the time, but that was like commando style, like, go, 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 shoot everything, get back in the car. We peel out, we're driving, and then we drive and we're like, hey, we realize we're hungry and we haven't eaten in like 8 hours. Let's get food. We go through a Wendy's or something. I don't
Yeah,
even
that's
know
where I
what the heck
take
we
my
got.
Wendy's but aesthetic photo of Jack. That's on my Instagram.
Okay.
I don't
Was
even
it
know if you know what
Wendy's?
I'm referring to. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw it, but I couldn't even.
we
The
got
whole
Wendy's.
thing is a blur. So we got Wendy's, and then, which we got Wendy's, and I got a chicken sandwich for some reason. I think I ordered. I remember when I finally got back, because we filmed.
Okay, can I tell me to edit this out, and I will.
Yeah.
We were at such a point in the shoot that there was like an awning that was dripping water, because it had been
Right.
like, I don't even know why, because it wasn't really rainy when we were there. But you were like, you were sitting in the passenger seat, and you were like, where is this water coming from? And I was like, there's an awning right above
Oh
us.
yeah. Because
Like,
it hadn't
I just
rained,
remember-
and I
yeah,
couldn't
you were
figure
like,
out.
What's going on? Where's this water coming from? And
There's-
it's like, there's something above us that's is dripping the water on us. That's
There's-
what it is.
I was gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a compilation. I'm gonna send you the compilation now. I was gonna send it to you when we got back, and then I forgot about it. And it's a Marcus the Worm compilation, but it's the meme thing of like me at the slightest convenience, and it's just Marcus being PO'd, like, what the
Yeah.
like immediately mad about everything. By the time we were on the last day of the shoot, anything that happened, if like a breeze would hit me, I'd be like, why is this happening? And so there's
And
water
meanwhile,
coming down for
to-
like no reason. I'm
to
like,
be
where's
clear,
this water coming
30
from?
minutes earlier, Jack and I were like, do the Bigfoot walk, do the Bigfoot walk. That's kind of the dynamic by the end of the trip.
Right.
For-
I swear, and by the way, look,
You
guys,
got this chicken sandwich.
guys,
Princess and the Frog
we
will
will
happen.
get to Princess and the Frog. In fact, if you really can't stand it and you want to get to Princess and the Frog, I'll tell you what, skip to the 30-minute mark and we'll be talking about Princess and the Frog. It's been 23 minutes. We'll get there, but it's only going to be about 20 minutes of Princess and the Frog. So just chill your beans. But like, I swear that I ordered a burger, and because like I was eating the fries in the car, and I was like, there's bug spray all over my hands. I don't want to eat a burger.
You were
so
you were eating it like
I was
just
eating my
out of
fries
the
like an
cup.
animal. Right. And I had a camera in one hand, and we're like, oh yeah, because then we're almost home, and we're passing the bay and you're like, hey, do you want to get that? And I was like, yeah, pull over. And like we pull over, we jump out of the car again.
This gorgeous sunset.
An amazing sunset, which I was, I think there's like 3 shots, maybe 4, where I was woefully underexposed because I was trying to get the sunset and everything else is just black. And I'm like, whatever, I'll just zoom in on it. But we're all getting that. And then we get back in the car. And then, which you guys disappeared down a trail for a second, and I turned around like,
as we kind of do. That's like
I thought you guys got like hit by a
reoccurring-
car. Like I turned around like, what the heck
reoccurring
happened?
theme is like Andy and Jack disappearing and then reappearing a little bit later, or asking for more time to like go around a museum.
And then like we came back, we got in the car, and then I was like, look, you guys go back to the house, just drop the food on the counter. I'm gonna go around Marblehead, like around the thing with all the water where the boats are.
The bay?
That thing where they got the ships. Yeah. And that was really cool, by the way, because it was pretty much almost completely dark, guys. It was very, like, it was blue hour at this point. It's dusk. The sun has set, and I'm at like 5,000 ISO and counting, and like just trying to get as much footage. And by the way, we were shooting until either our batteries ran out or until our memory cards filled up.
That was literally our line, was like, and my battery died, so I wasn't shooting anymore.
And my memory card, I actually didn't shoot until my memory card filled up. My battery didn't die. I shot until I reached like 10,000 ISO, and I'm like, I can't go any higher and use it. So I was like, I'm going back home. But like, it was really nice. I stood out on the pier there, and it was real quiet. You could just hear like bloop, bloop, like really weird sounds from the ocean. And I was getting all that. And then I came back, and you were in the shower, and I open up my sandwich box. By the way, in case anybody lost track of what I was talking about, I'm talking about my sandwich because this is important to me, guys. And I open up the sandwich box, and it's a chicken sandwich. And I'm like, I had like a brain fart. I'm like, I like went up to Jack. I was like, Jack, did I order a burger? He's like, no, I'm pretty sure you ordered a chicken. I'm like, okay. And then I took a bite, and there was just a big hair in it. And I was like, there was like a long.
And that's the shoot in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Didn't I order a burger? No, you ordered the chicken sandwich, and there's a long hair.
I was like constantly, I was constantly in this feeling of like unreality, like I was in the Twilight Zone, or like I was like my reality wasn't what my reality was.
And then I came out of the shower, or like not wearing a shirt.
Yeah, because you thought you got
like, check for ticks.
Yeah,
and it's just a mole.
Yeah.
And then I learned that I had a breakthrough in my tick phobia. It was really like a crazy shoot.
There was a lot.
One day we'll be able to tell you about all of it.
Yeah.
And
once the NDAs are through. But now, finally, ladies and gentlemen, I give you a little earlier than I initially told you, but I give you our actual podcast, which is what this is about, is Princess and the Frog, 2009.
2009.
Take it away, Andy.
This is a film that is very near and dear to my heart. There was a time Santino just walked away. Oh well. This is a film that is very near and dear to my heart that I first saw. See, now I'm all thrown off. Are you good?
Yeah, I had to get the window.
Oh, film very near and dear to my heart that I first saw when I was young, not in 2009, but probably, well, I could do the math, and probably the early 20 teens. That I think is really neat, and I think, it's a movie that, funny enough, as a 23-year-old man, a lot of my buddies really like this movie, especially one of my best friends, Mark Lloyd Price. This is like his favorite movie, and we've seen this movie like 3 times together, and we've showed it to friends, and it's just really good. We've proselytized this movie heavily. And when I realized on the episode that's already out now, our top 10 movies of all time, that I hadn't really talked about this movie on the show, I realized we had to watch it for the show. And upon rewatching it, I watched it with the audio commentary with the writer, directors, and one of the producers, and that was really interesting. I realized I don't really know what we're going to talk about, but
yeah,
I'm glad you've seen it now. And it's this classic, and if for no other reason, in what this show is supposed to be, that it's this like our interest in films and discovering new things, I think you can see a couple themes of Andy's taste in movies kind of pop up early in this
Mhm.
film of all places. So I don't know. What are initial impressions or like things that you going into it, expectations, that's the word.
I mean, I feel like my expectation for it, because I knew little about it, very little about it. I remembered when it came out, and I remember when it came out, I thought, well, maybe I'll watch that because it was 2009. I would have been a freshman in high school. And which, when I was watching it last night, I thought, wait a minute, if Andy watched this in 2009, you would have been what, like 6?
Yeah, but I did not watch it.
Okay, see, I was wondering, I was like, well, this might
I'm
be
actually
like
not sure when I first saw this movie, but I think it's when I was like, oh,
middle school.
maybe like, yeah, maybe like 9,
Okay. Well, so this could be, because that's what I
10,
was
11.
realizing when I watched it. I was like, this could be like an Andy childhood beloved, like a classic. I was like, this is really interesting because when I think of classics, I think of things from like the 90s, and I'm like, man, I feel
Yeah.
I feel real old. And so I went into it expecting it to be, I knew it was like their, and you can correct me, it's their last traditionally hand animated thing, right?
Yes, I believe so. I'm not too up to date on Disney animation, as much as I used to be. Uh, but it was their return to it.
A
Like
return to
not
it.
not
Okay.
not to like,
Not
well,
necessarily
actually
the
you,
last, right?
but it was their first in like a while, to the point of like them not even sure if they had the right production equipment to make the movie when they started the process, which is really interesting. Like those
Hmm.
animation desks, like it turns out some guy at Disney Animation had like disobeyed the order to throw them all away, and like had hid them away and was like, "Oh, you're looking for those?"
Mhm.
And like opened the door and was like,
So
"There's yours."
basically,
So
like the Andy or Santino of Disney,
yeah,
you
was
know,
was like, "I'm not
like
gonna
we're
throw these
not
all
going to throw
away."
those away. Why would we do that? We should
Yeah,
just hide them somewhere. I feel like
yeah,
we've
no,
done that at
literally.
every job we've ever had. It's like somebody's like, well, this is useless. And we're
That's a
like,
really
think so.
interesting you and I ism. Have you ever cleaned up a piece of machinery or like toolage that had been like disregarded by everyone else?
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, this thing's really like, then they suddenly rediscover it. And we're like, yeah, well, if you would just maintain
I
it, like,
literally like, we had a thing at my old job that was like so useful for a task that
mhm.
I literally, the place was like 3 buildings. I scoured all 3 buildings to find it because we needed it. Like we had used
Mhm.
it some like months ago and then I needed it again. But I scoured the place for it. I took it and I like cleaned it up, and like literally the thing was like this dark green, black, brown, and I cleaned it up and it was blue. And
Oh,
like
wow.
I like made it my own. I don't know if they're still using it or whatever happened, but okay. Yeah, that's, I don't even know how we got here. But yeah, the
The
animation
animation
desks.
tables. Yeah. So
But
yeah, so
it
it's
might be their last. This is like so, as far as I understand, this is at like the shift when like Disney animation
mhm.
became kind of what it is today again. Now, obviously, there's like the golden age, and like what you're talking about, the like, this isn't the golden age. There's like the classics of The Lion King and um, Aladdin and
Golden Age 2.0.
Hercules, Golden Age 2.0, which is this like revival in the 90s,
Little
when
Mermaid,
these
I think,
movies
was
came out.
89,
I feel this is like
89 or 88.
it's not because I think these movies are so old. It's just
Mhm.
because dates of when Disney movies came out are
Yeah.
not in my brain.
Well, Little Mermaid was definitely like 88 or 89. And so then everything
Okay.
came after that. I think Lion King was early 90s, Beauty and the Beast, mid 90s. So,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Because then
And
it
so then,
basically, they kind of closed out on it again once you get to the 2000s because you had a series of flops. Like Emperor's New Groove didn't do incredibly well. Lilo and Stitch did well, but they were already moving in a different direction by then. And so, like, because they tried
yeah,
Treasure Planet, which I really like Treasure Planet, and I really
I've
like
never seen Treasure
Atlantis.
Planet
Treasure
or
Planet and
Atlantis.
Atlantis are both pretty cool from what I remember. I haven't seen them since I was like 12.
Yeah. And
But
so like John Lasseter takes over Disney Animation
mhm,
of Pixar, and like this is the fledgling project.
right.
And so Princess and the Frog, apparently, I'm glad I watched the commentary because it gives us a bit more to talk about. Apparently, like adapting the Frog Prince Grimm's fairy tale had been like
Mhm.
an idea at Disney for a long time, and even like had bounced around Pixar, but then like I think it was, the two directors who are these classic guys whose names I have no clue what they are. With all due respect,
Yeah, but they've directed all the 90s
you
stuff.
name it,
Yeah.
they did it,
Mm.
to their credit. Like they pitched this idea, kind of sort of what it is now, what it became. And I was blown away by the amount of stuff that kind of came together while they were making the movie,
Mm.
but that's neither here nor there. So
Yeah, I
I
mean
guess that's just filmmaking, but
that was kind of my expectation, was like, this is their return to form. I expected it to feel a lot like, Emperor's New Groove, or, some of those 2000s animated ones.
how do
I knew
you
there was music, so I knew it was
how do
going to
you
be.
feel about Disney movies, like animated movies? This is something that I realized, I think after I suggested it, that I was like, I have no clue, kind of in general, broad strokes, how you felt about like the classic.
I mean, and that's the thing, right? Like there's classic, and then there's the middle stuff from like the
Yeah.
60s and 70s, and then there's the revival in the 90s, and then they've had several periods now that are kind of ups and downs. So the classic stuff, like we're talking Snow White, Pinocchio, that kind of thing, that stuff is awesome. That's great. And the artistry in it is fantastic. And I have good memories of Pinocchio and all that stuff, and it's very well done. Once you get into like the 50s and 60s, I remember as a kid watching, because I've watched most of them. Like overall, to answer the question in broad, it's like I generally enjoy Disney movies. In the modern age, I've generally enjoyed Pixar more than Disney. But like I remember watching Sword in the Stone, and I loved Sword in the Stone as a kid. Like,
I don't know if I ever seen Sword in the Stone.
really?
Yeah.
Hockety pockety walkety whack, all the things in bric-a-brac, blah blah blah. There's like this whole thing. There's Merlin and there's like this talking owl and the switch in the woods. Like I remember watching that a lot, and I remember Sleeping Beauty, which was their 50s one. That one was cool. And then you get into the 60s, and throughout all this time, you've got the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh that's happening. So, like, to me, the gold standard is the compilation, the anthology of the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which I think they finished in the 70s, because they started it in like the 40s or 50s, and then they finished it in the 70s. That's fantastic. I'll still watch that today. Winnie the Pooh, like it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't even mind the music. It's cool. Heffalumps and Woozles is a really cool song. I learned how to play it on piano back when I was taking piano lessons as a kid. Like, that's a great thing. And I mean, I know you've seen Winnie the Pooh, so like we're not gonna. Have you seen
I've
Winnie the
seen
Pooh?
some Winnie the
Okay.
Pooh.
Have you've not seen the whole movie? Oh, Andrew Matsky. We're gonna have to correct we're gonna have to right some wrongs here, Andy. It might be a
That's what the
Disney
show is
summer.
for.
Might be a Disney
Wow, that'd be a
summer.
fun. That'd be a fun. I think no one would have seen that coming.
Yeah, it's like we did like Identity and Falling Down and like Star Wars, and all of a sudden it's like Winnie the Pooh, Aristocats,
Yeah.
which
Princess and the
Aristocats was
Frog.
another fun one. Jungle Book. So yeah, I went through all those.
Jungle Book's a classic.
Get to the 80s, and they get in that kind of weird period where it's like um, Disney animation's turning out kind of flops, and they do well, The Black Cauldron, which is underrated, but I understand why no one liked it.
Underrated, like art style,
Mhm.
and everything else is, I think, appropriately rated.
Yeah, I mean, there's scenes of like zombies going into towns and slitting people's throats and stuff, and you're like, well, this isn't really a kids movie, but it's really cool. And like this
Yeah.
dragon scene where the dragons are trying to take the pig is like really dynamic and cool. And then they do possibly my favorite or second, it might be my second favorite to Winnie the Pooh, my second favorite Disney movie of all time, which is the Oliver and Company, which is their Oliver Twist. You've never seen Oliver and Company? Okay, it might end up being a Disney summer, guys. I can't make a guarantee, but there's going to be more Disney movies than I originally anticipated. That's a fun movie. And that was like at the tail end of the 80s, right before they get into their big thing. So long story short, I like Disney animation. I like their run in the 90s. I actually enjoy a lot of their 80s stuff that's generally not considered their best. I just find it a little less Disneyfied in a sense. Like, Sword in the Stone is really great, but it's Disney. Even Fox and the Hound and Aristocats are like, it's very Disney. And then you get to the 80s, and Disney kind of has an identity crisis where it's making these kind of random offshoots into and then you get back to the Goofy movie in the 90s, and that's a lot of fun. And
Classic.
if classic Bigfoot and Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. So Yeah, I like Disney in general. That was a very long way
No,
around that
like, and that's,
answer.
I mean, and I also think we both kind of have this shared unspoken Disney. Well, I don't even know about this. What's like the latest Pixar movie you've seen?
Latest one?
Because I
Uh,
haven't seen a Disney Pixar film in years. Like, I can't. It might be like Toy Story 3 Monsters University, maybe, might be my cutoff.
um, Incredibles 2.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I've heard good things.
It's almost, I kind of, the last I watched it, I think twice. I've seen the original Incredibles many times. I love the Incredibles. I love Brad Bird stuff. I think Incredibles 2 might actually be better than Incredibles 1 in some regards. It's
I've
it's
heard that.
really good. It's shockingly good. Like, I don't want to oversell it, but I really enjoyed both of those movies. And it picks up literally the same second as the ending of the first one. Like, it just goes
That's
right into
fun.
it. I love when sequels do that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be my most recent. I think that was after Toy Story 3, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. That's my most recent. I've not seen
Okay.
Moana or any of the
So I
other
was
stuff.
gonna say, like, me either. I feel like we both, our knowledge cuts off, yeah, somewhere in like at least 2020, maybe a little.
Yeah.
I don't even know when Incredibles 2 came
Even
out.
even
I think that was
before
after,
that.
but like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of where our, so I don't know. That's, but I feel similarly. I mean, they're classics for a reason. There's a lot of like Disney adjacent things that I think I have a lot more nostalgia for.
Like the Don Bluth
Um,
stuff.
like the Muppets.
Oh, I thought you meant like All Dogs Go to Heaven or Fievel or
No, no, not really. But like I like Disney. I would say, yeah, growing up I was probably more of a like early Pixar kid, especially because of the like CG stuff
oh
and
yeah.
being a dork for that. So
Toy
like,
Story, Bug's Life.
yeah, those are classics. So like, yeah, I feel very similarly. And then like this film probably being, oh, up there for me in, I mean, obviously up there, number one of like Disney films, just because it's, but like purely on like nostalgia purposes, because there's also a ton of Disney films I haven't seen. I hadn't seen like Hercules till I was in high school, and a girl made me watch it.
Hmm.
And but I love like The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin's really cool.
What was the earliest Pixar that you saw? Was it Toy Story?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen some of their short
But I
collections.
mean, that was
That's
like the first Pixar thing you ever saw was Toy Story?
I don't know what the first
Yeah.
Pixar thing I ever saw was. Probably that was like one. This is like we're talking a kid on VHS
Yeah.
time when it
Yeah.
gets to or Pixar. But yeah, probably Toy Story.
I think mine, I don't fully remember either. I want to say though it was Bug's Life. I think I kind of went backwards. I think I went
Ooh.
Bug's Life, Toy Story, and then Toy Story 2. And then I remember going to the theater to see Monsters Inc.
Oh wow, that's fun.
Yeah, that was a fun experience. Mike Wazowski. Yeah, I remember the
Yeah,
whole.
that's a great movie. So this was the scene going in. Walk me through you watching Princess and the Frog. We do not have to do scene by scene.
Yeah, well,
We do not have to
I mean,
do.
you know,
And I didn't rewatch this movie with dialogue, so I can't necessarily give you
I mean,
a
you
whole lot
kind
because
of
it
you
was on
kind
your
of
own.
squashed my plan of like reciting all of the musical numbers. I've been putting a lot of work into this all day.
So how do you feel about the music in this film? Because this is one of the most interesting things. Because I think this is where you can trace my love of folksy gospel,
Mm.
Americana, Louisiana, Zydeco, what have you, back Dixieland jazz to this, which are all genres of music. Dixieland jazz probably not applying,
Delta
being
Blue.
genres you don't really vibe with.
Yeah, not really. I mean, Randy Newman composed it, so I'm down
Yes.
with Randy Newman. And Randy Newman usually finds a way to make things pretty listenable, even if it's not necessarily. I think there was only one song I skipped, and that was the Fireflies song, because I was like, I'm
The
not.
Fireflies song's great. The
I
Zydeco
know,
number
right?
is
Because
great.
the minute I hear that sound, I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. So I muted that.
Such a good song.
But everything else was fine. It's very, very Randy Newman, very, I can do some Dixieland jazz, I can do some Delta blues. Not a lot, but I can do some. And I mean, compared to a lot of other musical numbers in earlier Disney films, these are definitely the most palatable. I think they're, to me, not to throw this one under the bus, what I went in expecting was that this would be kind of like Disney greatest hits. Like,
Hmm.
they're returning to form
Yeah.
and they're gonna just go, guys, what did we do before? Let's do that again, right? And like it felt very, I enjoyed it, but I was actively aware of like this feels like pitch meeting, like boardroom, like let's go down the checklist. Okay, villain who's like slinky and does this kind of thing and has these kind of things, and like the
Yeah.
villain has like he's actually a coward, but he can be intimidating. And it's like okay, it feels like they took Scar and Hades from Hercules and kind of smashed them into two characters and went, okay, here's gonna be our villain. We'll get Keith David to do it, which Keith David, great casting choice, by the way. Um, and then like it just felt like I was very aware, and maybe it's just because I'm an adult now and I never paid attention to this as a kid, but I was very aware of the formula behind what I was watching. It felt like, okay, and it's very Save the Cat. Like at this
Yeah.
act, set your watch by this. Okay, there's going to be this moment, and then here's the inciting incident, and then there's the Dark Night of the Soul. I didn't see it coming that they were going to kill the Firefly. I was kind of shocked. But overall, I expected it to be Disney's greatest hits. I expected it to be formulaic. I expected it to be um, and by the way, formulaic sounds like an insult, not like in a bad way, but
No.
I
Yeah.
felt like I could expect them to go, let's play it safe. And I think that would be my biggest criticism, is it just felt very safe. Aside from killing the Firefly, it just felt like we're gonna just do, we're not gonna ruffle any feathers, we're gonna do what everybody expects us to do. Which I don't even know what I would expect from a Disney movie, because I think that's what you expect a Disney movie to
Yeah.
be. So this is kind of an unfounded criticism. I'll admit that. Like it's
No,
just
no,
like
it's
me just
no.
kind of being nitpicky. But ultimately, I went into it expecting it to be fun, colorful, a lot of music, and stick to a formula, and it did. Like that's like just off the top, that's what I expected.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because, like, even hearing them describe this movie, I don't know if they necessarily were being, and I get how you're describing formulaic.
Hmm.
They were like, and this is not a semantic, well, actually, they felt they described it very like what they would do, like, in very, like, archetypal ways,
Hmm.
almost, like, kinda blowing my mind. Like, that literally was, like, what they were doing. They're literally like, "Well, this shot here is a very Gene Kelly, That's Entertainment,
Right.
and this is, like, boom, boom, like, beat for beat." That's one that stood out, and I wish I could give another, but, like, here's where we do our blank impression, is pretty
Hmm.
much like their idea, and it's like, "Oh, no, this is like they are that on the nose with their direction and kind of vision of the film." And
Yeah.
that's again, like, this is it's a Disney movie, so
Hmm.
it's like they kinda
And I think you articulated better what I meant by like best of Disney, because it
yeah,
feels like here's our version of this. Here's this iconic thing, but retooled as this. Here's, here's that moment. Here's this archetype.
yeah.
It
This is
was,
kind of like from Jungle Book, but we wanted to make sure it wasn't too like from
yeah,
Jungle Book
this is
because
the
it's
alligator is
like
Baloo.
almost, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like subconscious, and they're like, "Well, we didn't realize it was necessarily like this, but when we did, we kind of toned it
Mhm.
down." But
Right. Yeah, you could see it coming. You could feel it. Um, but it makes for a breezy watch. And
yeah,
you've got the princess who's not really a princess, she's a waitress and she has a dream. And it lays it on thick with the dream stuff, and it's like, you here's what you want, but here's what you need. And we've got songs about that. And the hoodoo and the voodoo and so forth. I enjoyed all of our time like with the villain. It's a fun villain.
oh, the
It's Keith
villain's
David,
great.
the villain songs are fun. I was super confused in the first like 15 minutes or whatever, because like Prince Naveen shows up, and like first of all, I got no clue where he's supposed to be from. And
Yeah,
then like he's doing a French accent, and I'm like, but he's not from France. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't matter, it's a kids movie, but like I don't
yeah.
know what we're doing.
It's a fictional
Yeah, I thought it was
amalgam.
like some fictional
Yeah,
place. And then like when they make the deal, like the deal's gonna go south with the villain. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But then he still shows up at the ball, and then he's also a frog, and I was like, what is going on? And then, a few minutes later you get the reveal of, oh, it's like the fat white guy, like his helper who's
yeah.
impersonating him, and like this is part of the curse or whatever. But I was really confused. I thought I missed something. Like I was ready to like rewind. I was
You're
like, did
like,
I
"Wait."
just stroke out for like what's going on? But I caught up. And I was like, okay, I see what we're gonna do. And now they're both frogs. And for the folks playing along at home, if you haven't seen it, do you want to give them just like a real?
So Prince Naveen of Nardonia
That's what it is.
is this prince, he makes this deal with the bad guy whose name is like never said in the movie, and it's like some French name. It's like Dr. Fasir.
Yeah, but he's the
Fasir?
Shadow Man.
He's the Shadow Man.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a deal with him that then this goes awry, and our heroine is Tiana.
Mm-hmm.
She has always had this dream of opening a restaurant ever since her and her father would cook together, her now dead dad. And
dead
so
dad
then-
trope, if you're playing on the bingo card. Dead parent trope, Disney.
dead dad. Archetype.
Mhm.
Check.
Yep.
And then Prince Naveen gets turned into a frog, and he explains as the frog to Tiana that since she's a princess, or since he's a prince, if they smooch, then maybe he'll be turned back into a prince. And instead of that, when they smooch, she turns into a frog. And then
Which, by the way, is never really explained, and you kind of don't question it when it first happens. You're like, oh yeah. And then after the movie's over, you're like, wait a minute, why would that be part of his curse? But
and then when he kisses, then turns into a frog. Who knows? Good question.
meh. It doesn't take away, but like you don't question it until the movie's over, and then you're like, wait a minute.
Wait a second. And then they get chased through the swamp. They escape from this party they're at because they get chased by the dog. And it's then this little Americana chase film as they go through the swamp. They befriend
that's got Andy
an
written all
alligator.
over it.
No, like literal, like I think that's my one note from watching it over this time is like Americana chase film.
Andy, check. Archetype, check.
Yeah, literally. It's like, okay, I'm in. There's a swamp and we're running from somebody. Okay.
Chase
That's all I
movie.
need. There's a clear direction. And anyways, and then they befriend this alligator, and I forget the alligator's name.
Baloo.
It's not Baloo.
It's not Baloo, but he might as well be Baloo.
Lewis.
He's got those bare necessities, but they're like alligator necessities.
Yeah. And who's an alligator who's always been an alligator who likes playing the blues.
Trumpet.
And plays jazz. And he's a trumpeter. And then we meet Ray, who is a lightning bug, who's in love with Evangeline. And that's our cast. And that's our movie. They make their way to Mama Odie.
Evangeline's a star, by the way.
Evangeline was a lightning bug, and now she's a star.
Oh, okay. I guess that's true.
That's the whole point of him being in love with a star, is that really used to be his girl. He's not crazy. And that's proven to us by when 2 stars show up at the end.
Yeah, I guess I completely
you heartless.
Okay. Correct me.
Did you think the Cajun lightning bug guy was actually crazy and was actually in love with a star?
Yeah, because
Santino.
I called it. Like when he first starts describing her, and she's like this and she's like that, and I'm like, let me guess, she's a light bulb. And then like they reveal it's a star. I'm like, yep, it's a star. So was there ever a point where, because I genuinely can't remember now, was there a point where anything was said that like maybe she was alive and died?
I think it's strongly implied. I watched this movie without dialogue, or other dialogue, so I can't, and I don't have the catalog like memory of a film that you do. So maybe I'll have to go back and watch this movie again. But I think it's like implied that like,
man, it must have gone over my head then, because I completely whiffed that one. I thought, oh, it's a star.
Yeah.
I mean, I got that like he died and turned into a star and was with her, but I didn't really think that meant that she used to be a lightning bug too. I think I just went, oh, okay, now we all die and we're stars, because it's like the Dragonheart thing, right? Like you die and you go up to the stars. So I was just
Ray's played by Jim Cummings, by the way. I don't know if you caught that.
He's classic. He's Winnie the Pooh. He's everybody.
So, and then
different Jim Cummings.
And then John Goodman plays Big Daddy.
Yeah, clocked him the minute he started talking. It's like there's no mistaking that voice.
He also has like 6 lines, I feel like, in the whole movie.
Yeah, he's barely in it.
Yeah, he spent a day recording his lines. But they then make their way to Mama Odie, who's this voodoo priestess who's 200 years old, and we have a musical number there. We've had musical numbers throughout.
She sounded real familiar too, and I don't know if she was the same woman that did the voice of Mrs. Avery on the PJs. I didn't bother looking it up, but I
I
mean,
don't know.
it's old black lady voice, so
There's like it's like old black lady voice number 3.
number 3, yeah. There's like 6, and this is
Yeah.
maybe 5, maybe 6. This is
Yeah.
number 3, yeah.
And then they get back to New Orleans because the Shadow Monsters, which the Shadow Monsters are really cool. That's what
Those are
I
cool.
really.
Mhm.
Those are really. They're really like Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mhm. Yeah, you
Like a
can feel
lot.
that. You can feel that influence
But
real
anyways,
hard.
but they're still cool, and the Shadow Monsters take everybody back, and then Ray dies, and then stuff happens, and the deal with because the Shadow Man has like these demon
Yeah, he's
council
got a
that
lot of
he
different
appeals to,
deals.
and then Mama Odie, and meanwhile Tiana
meanwhile.
and Prince Naveen have fallen in love with each other.
Of course,
Um,
as they do.
and then at the end they get married, and when they smooch, turns out she was now a princess because they're married, and they get turned back into people, and they make her restaurant together, and it's the happy ending. Boom.
Happy ending. Which is odd too, because I was like, wait a minute. They got married, and she still like puts all her life savings into buying the property, which the alligator like kind of threatens those 2 bankers to accept the
Yeah.
deal. But I'm like, she's a princess now, and part of Naveen's thing was like his parents told him, you either have to get married or get a job, or else you're cut off from our wealth. Well, he's married now, so why did she need to put her savings in? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But just like,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
It closes a circle from earlier in
Sure.
the film.
Yeah. It's there's catharsis there. But I mean,
Yeah.
they're set for life at this point. They don't really need.
I mean, to be fair, the whole movie is about 2 people who fall in love while they're frogs.
Right.
Naveen's seen
Well, they're all
her.
mucusy.
Yeah. Naveen's seen her as a person, but she never saw him
Yeah.
as a person. Well, I guess maybe as like
Yeah,
a
she
weird
did.
doppelganger.
The
guy,
doppelganger, yeah.
but like, I don't know. It's a Disney movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the movie in a nutshell. It had music, it had dancing, it had a lot of really nice backgrounds. The background
good
work in
backgrounds.
this
The
was pretty great.
occasional awful, for some reason, 3D animated thing.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty standard in 2000s
Yeah.
Disney stuff. Like it was like
I don't know
that.
why we did that, especially in the movie that's our return to hand-drawn animation,
I mean,
but it's okay.
it's what they did. It was like that in Lilo and Stitch. It was like that in Treasure Planet. It was like that in Atlantis. It's kind of like that all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, they even had that in early Disney stuff. I mean, the entire background in Beauty and the Beast in the ballroom scene, that's just all digital.
Yeah.
Like they have a track record for that.
But yeah.
Yeah, overall, enjoyable watch. Only muted one song. You know, you Disney has a formula. It's obvious, but it works. And it makes you care about characters, even if they're cartoons, and you go, I'm an adult. I don't really want to care. And then when they stomp on the lightning bug, who's basically been annoying to me, I was kind of went, oh, I didn't think they were going to do that. Oh, dang.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, oh, wait. Huh, they're actually going to kill him. And then I was like, I kind of have a little more respect for this because they're doing something crazy.
Yeah, and they actually kill him.
Yeah, they don't bring him back. Because I thought, oh, they're gonna cop out at the last second. Something's gonna happen. And it doesn't. And like Mama Odie earlier in the movie, she was making gumbo in a bathtub, which is a great visual.
That's yeah.
Like her whole house. The minute we got there, I was like,
Yes.
I'd kind of like to live in a dilapidated ship up in a tree in the swamp. Not literally, but like that's a cool
Oh yeah.
visual. And I'm like,
I think they literally they said something like that they had that visual first and we're like, we have to work this in somewhere.
Oh yeah. There's oftentimes you'll end up with a tail wagging the dog. It's like, what's cool? And then what can we do in the story to justify it?
Yeah.
It's a weird way to write, but it does give you cool stuff. So can't complain. I need to work on a Keith David impression.
Yeah.
I think I think every impression has a key, as one of our interview subjects told us. And it's true though. Every impression has a key. And if you can find that back door to an impression, you can get it. And I think the key, strangely, to Keith David is actually like Stewie Griffin. Because Keith David, it's all nasal, and he talks very high but also very low. And he starts out his sentences and then he'll come down here, and then he'll get very kind of smooth.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna try to figure something out there. I'm probably gonna fail at it, but I'm gonna work at it.
Give it the old college try.
Old college
I had a
try.
huge yawn. Wow.
Mhm.
Sorry. You brought back memories of our trip and I got tired.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find my sheet of that I made when we did our top 10 movies so I'd know what to rate this film. But that might be a little early. So did you like this movie?
Yeah, that was
Are
good.
we here? Are we here in
I
the
think we're here.
show? Okay.
We've been
On the call for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's 2
We've
hours
been
and
in
11 minutes. We've been recording for 59 minutes.
Okay, yeah, we're here. So
We're
you
here.
like it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd give it, are we doing the rating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6 something, a 6. For me, it doesn't, like, because I didn't see it when it came out, I didn't see it as a kid. It's not going to have that like classic nostalgia that it does for you, obviously.
I think that's
And
probably good.
yeah, probably.
Probably
I
for the
mean,
best.
So like and it does feel like, if I'm being super picky, it feels like a retread of things we've done in Disney stuff before. So I don't think it reaches modern classic status for me. I'd give it like, this is a fun, breezy, innocuous, like, just, it's a simple watch, no big deal. You'll have some laughs. I'd give it like a 6.3. Like, there it is. It's middle of the road, it's
That's
enjoyable.
fair. I think I would give this film. I have to look at our list real quick.
I feel like yours is going to be really high, because if you should have put this on your, like, retroactively, if you want to put this in your top 10, it's going to be like a 9 or a 10.
I mean, I put it in my top 10. I said it in that episode.
Oh, wait, that's right. Right.
It knocked a certain film off that list that I'm honestly kind of glad it did. I mean, the thing is though, like objectively, it's probably like a 6.5, 6.8.
Mhm.
But with like all the adding subjective, whatever, what have you, the sentimental value,
Mhm.
it'd probably get knocked up to like a 7.5.
Really? Not higher?
Not even higher. Because I don't think this movie doesn't do anything crazy.
Mhm.
Kind of period. It's just
Yeah, it's safe. It's real safe.
It's yeah. So like it's 7.5.
Okay.
So average that out and hit like a 7.
Yeah, fair enough. I genuinely expected it to be a little higher, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And
That's what I got.
mean, it has your heart, right? Because
It does. It does. The music alone does,
Mhm.
I think.
There you go.
So, and just all the fun memories of watching this film with friends and the shared memories of that. We were driving down like a week after I graduated high school, me and like 13 of my buddies went to Virginia and
All in a
me-
2-seater sedan.
no, we drove in 3 different cars, and one of those cars was me and Jack and Mark and our friend Harrison. It was christened Party Car. Party Car remains a friend group to this
Mhm.
day. It's it was a niche already in the friend group, and it remains that to this day. And on the way down, we were taking Harrison's car. That was one of those Honda SUVs that had a DVD player in the back, and Mark and I watched Princess and the Frog on that DVD player on the way down. And was like during a really, really bad rainstorm where like apparently Harrison was like struggling to see out the driver's window, and we were just in the back with the little headphones
Mhm.
watching Princess of the Frog, not knowing any of this was happening. Me and Mark were in the back seat. And when the I've got friends on the other side happened, we literally were like, "Want to watch it again?" And we're like, "Yeah." And we restarted the scene, like scene selected back, and watched it twice. And that's kind of what I think of whenever I watch this
Wow.
movie these days.
That's a very dynamic memory.
Yeah. And that was like on the way down to a trip that's like top 3 trips of all time. So it fits into that. So just for its connection to Boys Trip,
Oh, sure.
it's worth the price of admission. So do you want to tell me on air, off air what I'm watching next week? Or
I
in
don't
2 weeks,
actually
I'm sorry.
know. Yeah, in
Okay.
2 weeks because we're on our summer schedule. I don't actually know. I'll have to figure it out because now there's this whole other dimension I didn't anticipate, which is all these Disney movies Andy hasn't
We
seen. So
unlocked a 7th dimension.
I didn't even know there was a fifth. But hey, cool. We're all the way up to 7. We skipped right from 4 to 7. That's how we do
Yes.
things on this podcast. Hey, like, subscribe, harass your friends. Just keep sending them the same episode or different episodes.
Yeah.
All
Harass
upper,
your friends with our show.
yeah. Send them clips out of context. I keep forgetting this is a visual show on YouTube. I should really like do something.
I
This this is garbage right
I
here.
don't
I
think it's
should do
worth it because
something.
it'll get uploaded at like 480p because that's what Zoom like gives us is this
Yeah,
like little file
but
and it
still,
doesn't matter.
even at low res,
I'm in like
this
part
is a
of
problem.
I think it works. It's kind of because we're both in like corners. It kind of just works.
Yeah, my corner just looks less interesting.
Mine is too much.
I need some shelves, or I need to
Do you
like
want some
wear.
of my stuff?
No, I need to wear like a smoking jacket or something. I need to put more effort into my
Fog machine?
whole, yeah, fog machine to the point where you only just kind of see a blob of me and you're not sure if it's even me. That's
Yeah.
definitely, that's what we're doing. Tune in 2 weeks from now for the fog episode.
Yeah, the fog episode will be here. We'll keep you posted on that doc about ghosts. Keep circulating the tapes.
Probably coming out this fall if I can maintain my schedule. We'll see.
We'll see.